Hey there, Sandy Bowie here. So, our tapping session for today, I've got a good one actually. And what I'm going to do is tap on something that affects, let me just get a bit more comfortable, just affects like most of us virtually every day. And it's one of the key things that we have to overcome in order to get, consistency, to get traction, to just keep moving in our business. And that's really our emotional state, particularly in the mornings or, that part of the day when we sort of want to be productive, when we've got things that we need to do. And so what happened to me this morning was that when I woke up, and I literally just woke up, I wasn't in a great mood at all. I wasn't in a great place. I would say I was in a really low mood. I felt really low on energy. I couldn't even pinpoint what on earth was wrong with me. So I went around, did a few things around the house that needed to be done. I came to my computer, sort of opened up an email, did a couple of things there, and I read something that someone was asking me for some information about something that I have to put in a certain format. And I thought, I don't know how to do that. And it kind of spiraled my mood down a bit more and sort of got me into a place where, if you recognise this mood, right, I'm not feeling confident, feeling kind of low, because sometimes I do just get up and I feel kind of low and I can't really figure out what it is. So it's like not a good vibe. And on those days, generally I tend to want to sort of, I'll just hide. I want to just hide from the world a bit and not necessarily throw myself back under the duvet and sort of pull it over me. But I don't want to do the things that I had planned for today because I'm not feeling up to them. I'm feeling overwhelmed by all of the things that I've got going on. I'm feeling sort of like a little bit of poor me. I'm feeling a bit sorry for myself. I think that's probably the best way I could describe my mood this morning actually. I was just feeling a bit damn sorry for myself. And strangely enough, I stayed in that mood for a little while, which is crazy. Especially when I've got all these tools at my fingertips. But isn't that the funny thing? We've all got tools at our fingertips, but we stay in these low vibe moods look, let's not pretend. We can stay in that mood for 10 minutes, we can stay in that mood for an hour, we can stay in that mood for a whole afternoon or a day or a week or a month or a goddamn year. Let's not pretend, we can actually. We can stay in that place where, I don't want to put myself out there today. I can't go make a video. I'm not really feeling good about myself just now. And sometimes when I get into that vibe, even things about my body don't feel right. And, my hair doesn't feel right today. Things are just feeling a bit off. And that's exactly how I felt today. And the weird thing is I stayed in that vibe for way too long until I thought, oh my God, I have to tap on this. Or the consequences that I'm going to go through the entire day and not achieve anything. And all my things that I needed to do today will just be put off until tomorrow. And who knows what sort of vibe I'm going to wake up tomorrow in. I've got to get out of this vibe right now. Do you recognise that feeling for a start? Is that something that you can recognise, that sort of low vibe, poor me, I don't feel like doing this today, I'm just going to hide for a bit, and maybe even pretend to say, I maybe need to, do something else, maybe I need to look after myself a bit, whatever it was. Some of these things are true, and some of the times, in fact most of the times, they're really just excuses, and I can categorically say that hand on heart because I've done them all. I've done it all in terms of making excuses for why I don't feel like doing something today, because I'm really in a low vibe, not feeling confident, not feeling great about myself. Because one of the things about me is when I don't know how to do something and I'm struggling with something, it deeply affects my confidence. I'll just be completely honest with you. It deeply affects my confidence. And this is one of the things that I need to work on, that that my self-esteem and my self-worth is somehow connected to my capabilities. But that's a whole other ball game. But maybe you can recognise this too, because we're in this place of having so many things to do, being overwhelmed by it all, not really knowing a lot of things as well, and it's easy for our energy state to become so clogged up with all of that sometimes we do wake up in these negative moods and we can't get back out them. Or sometimes it's something as small as an email from someone that triggers us, anything at all. You know, reading something on a Facebook post, it could be anything at all, right? So that's what we're going to tap on today. We're going to tap on what happens, what do we need to do. I'm going to do a tapping routine for what we need to do when we get into that place to get back out of it again and start feeling in a more creative vibe where we can go off and create the things that we need to get done today, which is so important. So if you're ready, just on the tapping point, the karate chop point here, just gently start tapping on the side of it. Now you can use either side, it doesn't matter which hand you use. And if you've never done any tapping or anything like that before, then don't worry about it. You're going to know exactly what to do. I'm going to talk you all the way through it. And I'm going to ask you just to close your eyes, and I'll close mine as well as we go through this, because I want you to focus on your energy. I want you to focus on how you're feeling. So close your eyes while you're gently tapping on the side of your hand on your karate chop point. And I want you to really get in touch with that feeling that I've been talking about, that low vibe feeling. It should be really easy to get in touch with, because, you know, to be honest, it's one that personally I'm very familiar with. And if you're watching this, it's very possible that you are too. So get in touch with that vibe. Maybe it's happened to you this morning. Maybe like me, you got up and you just felt it straight away, you know. How did you feel it? Sort of get a sense of that and just get into that feeling. So get into that feeling of, poor me, I just can't do this. It's too overwhelming. I can't do it today. I can't face it today. I can't look at that today. It is quite a strong energy. I'm sort of starting to tap into that and feeling it in my body, most definitely. I just don't feel confident today. I don't feel right today. I don't feel good about myself today. I just need to hide from the world today. Maybe I'll feel better tomorrow and I'll be able to do it then, but not today. Really access that feeling for yourself. And I want you to just think about, where is that feeling in your body? Where are you holding on to that energy? So for me, I instantly get a sense of sort of a heaviness around my chest here. There's some energy that's lurking around there. So I want you to get a sense of where you're holding on to that energy. Is it in your shoulders? Is it in your head? Is it in your chest or your throat, or maybe in your stomach or your legs? Where is that energy? As you keep tapping into it, like it'll show up in your body, you'll know exactly where it is. Could show up as anything at all. So for me, what I feel is a sense of, it's almost like there's extra air in my chest, around my lungs, around here. There's sort of like, the only thing I can describe it as is it's like a thick cloud. Sorry, my nose is itchy there. It's like a thick cloud, and I want you to think about, well, what does the energy feel like in your body? Is it heavy? Is it dense? Is it thick? Is it dark? Is it light? Is it purple? Is it black? What colour is it? You know, so mine sort of looks like some really thick, heavy clouds that are holding on to a lot of rain, and I am holding on to that energy here. You know, they're thick, sort of grey, you know, those grey thick clouds. You know, it's not a light fluffy cloud, it's a really heavy thick cloud of energy that's sitting around there. But what's yours? Where is it? What sort of shape is it? Is it a triangle? Is it a square? Is it, you know, more obtuse shape? What does it remind you of? Just get a real sense of where you're holding on to that energy for me. And what does it look like? What sort of colour and shape is it? Okay, so you should by now be really feeling into that energy, and I want you to consider, before we start tapping on it, I want you to consider how intense is that energy for you, that state that you've tapped into, that vibe. How intense is it on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being wow, it's really intense? What's that number like for you? So I've already started tapping mine down a little bit, and that can happen too. So I would tend to say that mine's is about a 6. It's been coming down. I think it probably was about an 8 before actually, but it's already been coming down a bit. So I want you to get that number for you, and now we're going to start tapping around the points. Okay, so just on your eyebrow point here, just start tapping. I want you to really just keep feeling that feeling. And I know sometimes it seems a bit strange because there's a lot of people out there that are like, no, you don't want to get into that feeling, you need to avoid it. But not in EFT, not in tapping. We actually feel the feelings so that we can release them from our body. Side of the eye. Because you know what? You've been avoiding that feeling for too long, or you've been indulging in that feeling for too long. And I just want you to feel it for a really short time and then just let it go. And this is one of the practices that you can use every day to start feeling your feelings and letting them go, instead of indulging in them too much or pushing them down and avoiding them. Okay, under the eye. Just keep feeling those feelings. And you might start to notice that the feelings, whatever shape it was, maybe it starts to change shape. Sometimes it can get more intense, and sometimes you can just let it go. And under the nose, just think about releasing that energy. I mean, you don't have to start releasing it just yet, but you can if you want to. But I want you to think about, well, what would it be like releasing that energy? And on your chin, how might you release it? How might you let it go? You know, so for example, I've got a vision just now. I'm ready to release that emotion, that thick sort of grey cloud of emotion that I was feeling. And I'm visualising it sort of gently and slowly coming up my throat and leaving through my mouth. So it's not in my body anymore. Just on the collarbone point, just keep tapping. And I want you to visualise in your body inside, just starting to let that go. Even a little bit of it will make you feel much lighter. Just let that go in any way that you see fit. You can be as creative as you like. You know, maybe open up a little hole somewhere and let some energy out. Or maybe it can come out one of the holes that you already have in your body somewhere. That's very useful. Or maybe visualise it as like, you know, a block of concrete or something. Maybe you've got like a jackhammer or something like that and you're breaking it all up. Whatever way you want to get rid of it, start to let that out of your body. Just gradually, bit by bit. And under the arm, you're ready to release that negative vibe that you've been holding on to. You're ready to let that go. The top of the head. Just keep visualising letting that low vibe feeling go. Letting that energy that's been dragging you down today, just visualise letting that leave your body. And on the side of the eyebrow, just keep visualise letting that energy leave your body. That feels much lighter now that it's going. And if you notice just at the side of the eyes, like sometimes like you might want to change the colour of it, that might help. So what would be a more healing colour? What would be a happier colour that might need to come in and just help dissolve any little bits that you've got left of that negative feeling? Maybe it needs some brightness in there to help dissolve it. Maybe some yellow or some orange, or you know, some healing bright white light or something like that. Just visualize it in any way that you see fit. Under the eye, and just keep letting go of that negative vibe. You don't need it anymore. Under the nose, you can choose to let go of any emotion that comes up anytime that you want. And on the chin, you're doing it right now. So just notice how powerful you are in this particular moment, choosing your emotion. You're choosing to let go of something that you were holding on to. I don't know how long you've been holding on to that, but you're choosing to let it go now. And on the collarbone point. It feels good to make a choice about whether you hold on to emotion or whether you let it go. It feels positive, it feels powerful. Under the arm, you don't need to stay in those, you know, patterns when you get triggered. You don't need to stay in those vibes. In the top of the head, those things that trigger you every day, and sometimes you sort of go back to that old familiar mood straight away, where you start to doubt yourself and feel sorry for yourself and think that you're not good enough. You can let those feelings go anytime that you want. And on the eyebrow point, because the truth is that they're not really real. It's just a habit, it's just some feelings that you just access whenever something happens that triggers you, you go to that place. It's a well-worn path. And on the side of the eye, but today you've chosen something different. You've chosen to release those emotions because they've been blocking your creativity. Under the eye, they've been blocking what you're there to produce today. Under the nose, they've just been blocking you. And doesn't it feel much better to let them go? And on the chin, I want you to consider for a moment, what could you do differently next time? What could you do differently next time so that you're prepared for when that low vibe feeling comes in? How could you set up something so that you can get rid of it straight away? You know, maybe that well-worn path, maybe you could just grow some grass over it so you can't see it anymore. Or maybe you could just visualize moving it somewhere else. Put some bushes over it or something. You don't see that path anymore. Just visualize making a different choice, choosing a different path. Under the arm, you don't need to choose that low vibe, poor me anymore. It's something that you used to do. Maybe it used to serve you, but it doesn't need to serve you anymore. On the top of the head, you're ready to let it go. And if there's anything left, anything at all, just blow it up right now. Any of that old negative energy, if you need to blow up your path, whatever, just blow it up now and get rid of it completely. Just visualize seeing that happen and just blow it up. Okay. Now open your eyes. Okay, doesn't that feel much better? Doesn't it feel lighter to be rid of that low vibe, low confidence, poor me, oh I'm not getting this, whatever it was for you, that to know that you don't have to stay in that place. Okay, it's just a habit that you go there straight away when something goes wrong or something happens, or maybe you don't even understand why it happens, but you don't need to. sometimes either. All you need to know is that you are capable of choosing a new emotion anytime that you want. So I hope you found that session useful, and I'd like you to consider one last thing for me right now. What number are you now compared to what you were before? So whatever your intensity number is, just tune back in for a moment. So mine is down to about a 1 actually now, and what is it for you? Sometimes it's okay if it doesn't go to 0 completely, any drop whatsoever, even if you dropped it from, like, so mine was a 6 I said, and now it's down to a 1. That is a huge shift in energy that I just don't feel anymore, that I felt so much better after I did that tapping session. And what is it like for you? I'd love to know. Put down in the comments below, let me know what went on for you, what shift happened for you, and what you can then go off and do in a higher vibe for the rest of the day. I'd love to know. So listen, it's been great hanging out with you today. I hope you find this useful, and I'll see you soon.